Governor Christie, you have not spoken about the video, about the 10-year-old Trump video that came out, or the debate itself. You also did not attend the debate out in St. Louis on Sunday night. So let me just start with the easy ones. You specifically didn't go to the debate because it was your way of protesting or showing that you found the video to be objectionable?
Now, listen, I had issues to deal with in New Jersey and decided not to go to the debate. But on the video itself, let's be really clear, it is completely indefensible. And I won't defend it and haven't defended it. That kind of talk and conversation, even in private, is just unacceptable. And so, I made that very clear to Donald on Friday when this first came out and urged him to be contrite and apologetic because that's what he needs to be. And so, for me, this is just, stuff that you just can't be involved in and shouldn't even be thinking.
Do you think the apology was enough?
I didn't think it was, and I, on Friday or Saturday, and I told him that. I would have done it much differently. But, I do think he's sorry, and I do think he's embarrassed by it. No question in my mind about it. I was there when he found out about it, and there's no question in my mind he's embarrassed by it. But I think that, he should have been much more direct and much more focused on saying I'm sorry and only I'm sorry. And that's what I would have done. Everybody decides to do these things differently. That's his choice. But, you're asking me, so I'll tell you, I would have done it differently, and I just would have focused on, making sure that people understood that, he was really sorry for what he had done 11 years ago.
As a result of it, a lot of Republican politicians are now showing a lack of support and have actually said publicly they will not support his run for president at this late date, including you, Lieutenant Governor Kim Guadagno. How about you?
No, listen, I'm still supporting Donald. Obviously I was disappointed by what happened, but disappointed in some respects by the response initially, but I'm still supporting him. Has
it wavered at all?
Well, you certainly have to think about it. Now, I've known him for a long time, and I'm really upset by what I heard. But in the end, this election is about bigger issues than just that. And so, at this point, I still support him, and but certainly you take some time to think about that when you're going through this. But what I would say is that, again, anybody who hears that video was disturbed by it and offended by it, and as well they should be.
Do you think that video alone should be enough to make someone who might have been on the fence think that they wouldn't vote for Trump? An 11-year-old video that has no basis or bearing on what's going on today in the debates over issues, legitimate issues, international issues, that taking a video from that long ago should be immaterial? Or do you agree with the way a lot of people think that's very much material aspect of whether or not he's fit to be president?
Well, I don't think it's immaterial, but I don't think it's the only way you should make a judgment. I mean, he's got 11 years of history since then. He's had the last 18 months or so that he's been running for president and the issues he's been talking about. And by the way, this is a race with another person.
Right. And
you have to evaluate her as well and her conduct and all the rest. And so, I would not say it's immaterial. I think, you can certainly, it's well within your right to judge it. I wouldn't say it's the only thing you should think about, but certainly anybody who wants to take it into consideration in making their choice, because obviously I said I was really disturbed and disappointed about it, and embarrassed for him and his family, and they're good people, and I think his family, his wife and his children are really, really good people, and it's I felt badly for them.
You watched the debate. How do you think he did better in the second debate, and do you think this issue was made as prominent as it should have been when it came to his beliefs and how he'd run a country versus Hillary Clinton's?
Well, the issue certainly took up the good first 15 minutes or maybe even close to 20 minutes in the debate.
Right.
And so I think, it was, and it should have. I mean, it was the thing that was on everybody's mind walking in. So,
do you think the answer of locker room rhetoric was good enough, or do you think that he should have been more personable about it?
Well, like I said to you before, my view on it was that you should separate any feelings. That's about the locker room talk. Everyone's going to characterize it however they want to characterize it, and that's the way Donald chose to characterize it. I'm not going to argue with that. He's the one who said it, so he would know better than anybody what he meant.
Right.
But what I was talking about before was that when you're going to make an apology like that, which you need to, you've got to be focused about it and just be talking about that and not about a lot of other things that are relevant issues. Believe me, I think they're relevant issues. And on the debate, I think he did much better in the second debate than he did in the first one, and I think she did worse. But there's certainly also the overhang of that issue. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't, when I was helping prepare him for the debate, it's clearly you would have liked to have a completely clean shot at the debate without the overhang of what happened Friday and Saturday.
Seems like that's not possible for either candidate, right?
Yeah.
I mean, between deleted emails and all that nonsense, and then the video that's coming out. How much do you think they worry about, or you as part of the Republican leadership? Is there a legitimate, tangible worry that there's something else out there that he may not even know about that exists?
Well, only Donald knows, and I think he has said, that he's been involved in giving interviews and being involved in a lot of different business aspects over the course of the time before he was a politician. So who knows? But I think you evaluate all that on its own merits if and when it comes. But who knows? I would have no way of knowing that, and wouldn't want to speculate about it because I'd just be guessing.
Have you spoken to him since the debate?
Oh yeah, sure.
So you guys are in a good place right now?
Oh, listen, I tell Donald the truth, and I say it to him directly, and did on Friday and did on Saturday about what I thought about what was going on and what I thought he needed to do. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on the radio about all the different things that I said to him, but people know me pretty well. I don't hold back, and I don't hold back with him. And so, we spoke Friday and Saturday, and then we spoke Sunday after the debate.
Am I the only guy, and politically, I have no dog in the fight, but I got the sense that it was 3-on-1, that the moderators of the debate did take task with him over that video, which they had a right to do, but we're attacking him as opposed to letting Hillary do that and the people that were supposed to be part of what was billed as a town hall get-together.
Well, and not only on that, but on other issues too, where like Martha Raddatz was practically debating with him.
Right.
And listen, she can have whatever feeling she wants to have, but that's, in my view, that's not her place at the debate. They're supposed to be traffic cops. They can ask some questions, but this is a town hall format. And then at the end, they're rushing to get questions in because they didn't give people the time to be able to ask them in the beginning because they had their own agenda. I thought Anderson Cooper was a little bit better than Martha Raddatz. But, this is the problem. And this is what the media doesn't understand about why so many Americans feel like they're not objective. Because you see that kind of stuff and you don't see them treat Hillary Clinton that way, but you do see them treat the Republican that way.
Did you see that the star of the debate was the guy in the red sweater with the white tie and the Fuji disposable film camera?
Yeah.
Now, I explained that everyone in that circle had that because they weren't allowed to bring their cell phones in.
Right.
Do you think enough of the party still supports Donald Trump where he has a chance to win?
Well, sure. I mean, listen, I think that, the rank and file people in the party do support him because they understand the stakes in the election and they feel strongly about him. And there are going to be some people who don't. That's everybody's choice, Craig. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be critical of other people who make the decision that they don't want to support him. But what I've said all along to Republicans are, that's a consequential choice and, you're going to be judged by it. But as you're judged by supporting him. But that's in every election. And so this one has been a little more marked because you had 17 people, myself included, running in the primary. It was a contentious primary, and a lot of wounds were developed in that primary. So it's kind of tough for some people to get over it.
If he asks you, would you go to the next debate?
Oh, listen, I'm welcome to come to any of the debates that I want to come to. It's going to depend on what I have to do in New Jersey, just like this weekend did. And I know the next one's out in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, right.
So it's a long trip. It would mean 2 days away from New Jersey. So I don't know. My assistance to him vis-a-vis the debates is much more in the lead into the debates than being there that night.
Like preparation.
Yeah, it's much more, my experience in debating and preparation than it would be, in terms of actually having to be there. I went to the first one, but the first one was in Hofstra.
Right.
So it was very close and easy. And Mary Pat and I went together. If I went to Las Vegas, we wouldn't be able to go together. So, I'd have to see. We'll see what's going on, in 10 days.
You know how football teams have the scout team?
Yeah.
So there's right now Bryce Petty plays the other quarterback.
Right.
So the Jet defense can prepare against whatever kind of offense they're going to see. When you prep for a debate, do you guys do the same thing? There's a scout team and someone plays the role of moderator, someone plays the role of Hillary, et cetera, or no?
Everybody does it differently. And, I think there are elements of that, and there's also elements of just getting ready on issues and talking about issues to get ready. Trump does it his own way.
Right.
And, I try to help as best I can.
Is there a chance that one of us could come into that setting and maybe play the role of Hillary?
Absolutely no chance.
No chance. What if it was Al Dukes?
Absolutely no chance on Al Dukes. Eddie Schizzeri would be more of a possibility to play Hillary than Al Dukes would be. Al Dukes, as you know, Al Dukes is in bad favor right now.
True. Final few things on this. Do you think by the last debate, the two candidates will get away from the personal stuff, the video, what Bill Clinton did, emails, and actually have a debate where they focus on whatever the topic thrown in front of them is?
Well, there were a lot of those. I think after the first 20 minutes on Sunday night, there was a lot of conversation about issues. We heard stuff about Obamacare. We heard a whole bunch of things, and so, I think there were a lot of discussions, and I think by the third one, they'll believe even more, because a lot of the air comes out of that balloon. Let's face it. This thing with Donald happened on Friday afternoon, and the debate was Sunday. So
right. It had played its cycle through, but that was the first time he was out in front of an audience to talk about it.
That's right. And then, from my perspective, I hope that the next debate will focus with both of them because there's big differences between the two of them about the way to approach government. And I hope there's a lot of conversation about that, because if there is, then, people will be better informed when they go into vote on November 8th. And that's supposed to be the goal of these debates, is to better inform people about who they might want to have running their government for the next 4 years.
And you are still comfortable with Donald Trump as president of the United States of America?
Yeah, listen, elections are a choice, Craig. And, the fact is, I was made, as everybody was, really uncomfortable by that video. And he's apologized, and he said he was embarrassed by it, as well he should. He's apologized to his family, to his supporters, and everybody else. And so, it doesn't mean I'm comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with it, but it can't be the only thing you use to judge somebody. You've got to judge somebody on the totality of this and the choice in the election. It's not a write-in campaign where you can write in whoever you want, because of course then I would write in you. But
yes, it'd be nice to get a vote.
Yeah, it would be, right? That'd be a good thing to show your kids.
Hey, did any portion of the Republican leadership, when we heard the rhetoric that they wanted Trump out, and there's some of that, building, Paul Ryan's now saying he won't support him, has anyone said to you, hey, if we can get Trump out, would you want to be the guy again?
No.
No one's come to you about that?
No, absolutely not.
Would you say yes if they did?
No.
You're done with it.
Well, just be, it's it's like 27 days to the election. I don't think this is the time to let's get geared up. I tried and I didn't win, and so I don't think you look for a do-over in the same election year. And so no, I wouldn't do that, because I just don't think that makes any sense for me personally. And I don't I only got into the race because I felt like I had something to say. I felt like I could be good for the country, and I wanted to win. And I think it would be very difficult for anybody to come in at this late date, me or anybody else,
and win.
And then why bother doing it if you're not going to win? The idea is to go in there to try to change the country. It's the only reason I ran in the first place. It wasn't to get some posters or T-shirts. It was to actually try to do something.
You have plenty of T-shirts. I've seen them.
I do. I have plenty of T-shirts, and I think the hardest thing for everybody in all this is, and the way the whole campaign has been run on both sides, is when you have children like you and I both do, if they pay any attention to this stuff.
Which they do.
It's kind of,
They're aware of it. My kids are aware of it.
It gets a little tough to
My
explain.
5-year-old isn't, but I got a 12-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 16-year-old who have seen the video and heard it and started asking questions.
Yeah.
So, listen, I appreciate you doing it. You've said it. I'm sure you'll be part of the news cycle when you leave here at 10 o'clock.
News station suck it. It's a Craig Carton exclusive on the Fan.
We'll take
I feel like I'm back in New Jersey in the early part of the last decade.
We're going to take a couple calls for you on this topic. We're going to go to Old Man Jones now. He's in Newark. How you doing? The Governor Christie, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, Old Man Jones. How are you?
I'm at Nipsey's in Newark. I just had a question for you.
Sure.
What's with the 23-cent gas tax? It takes me 3 gallons of gas to go from point A to point B. That's 79 cents. Can't afford it.
Well, old
You
man.
got some bulls raising the price. What are you doing?
Old man Jones, it's actually 69 cents.
Well,
not 79 cents.
I went to
3 times 23 is 69. Old
not
man
in Jersey
Jones.
public schools. It's not 79 where I come from.